Hey, it's Laurel with Dabbling Hook. How are you guys doing? Today is August 5th. Wow, summer is basically over. I'm looking out the window and I'm looking at my rose bush and I'm already seeing yellow leaves. Summer's over. Anyway, hey, if you're new here, thanks for stopping by. I hope you subscribe, but if you don't, I hope you enjoy whatever it is I'm about to show you. Very little, by the way. And for you OGs, my very cold tea is over there. I am using the last, I think, 15-20 minutes of my lunch hour to record this. Otherwise, there would be no video coming. So, I'm back in front of my yarn stash. Oh, this is my aunt light, by the way. I've bent it so much now, I'm afraid that I may have loosened it somehow, but anyway, it still works. But I noticed in the last video that it was just there, so that's my aunt light. It's usually up high, but there's a window right there, so I move it out of the way. What am I showing you? Like I said, very little. I've got my wrist wrap because I still have the thumb pain and just aches, and I'm trying to mitigate any damage or excess strain. So yeah, I have definitely not been crocheting as much as I normally do around this time of year, so I think I'm pretty covered for amigurumi, but there's a whole lot of things I want to make that I'm just not getting to because, you know, trying not to aggravate. But the baby blanket I showed last time, that's been gifted. I haven't heard anything back because it was a pretty big baby shower. We've been to our friend's house before where the baby shower was held, and it's her son and his wife, and you know, normally there are a lot of people who come to gatherings there, but when we drove up there was a line of cars because this time it included not only her friends but her son's friends and his wife's friends, so it's a lot of people there. So a lot of gifts were stacked and we left way before they opened gifts, so there's that. Me again with there's that. What have I done? So as far as toys, oh, I have this bag or box my mother-in-law got me, and I don't need another storage container, but it has come in handy. It's collapsible, and it's where I now, you know, toss anything that I finish as far as amigurumis. I'm trying to, I don't want to say stock up, but have some in inventory of smaller items. I do not enjoy making the smaller items, but they're easier on the hands and such, and I just don't have time right now to do a big item that won't take days, because I don't work on things straight through. I don't have time to work on things just straight through. But what have I done? Let's see. Since the last time. Oh, it's more than I thought I did. Oops, what did I feel? Oh, the glue. Darn it. I'm gonna have to do something about that. Anyway, what have I done? Let's see if I can find them. I thought there was something else. Don't mind me. I'm just looking. 1, 2. I swear there was another one. I was trying to use up scraps. Don't mind me as I dig through. I was trying to use scraps of, just scraps, just to use them up, because it's piling up again. And I wonder if I showed this. Did I? I might have. I might show it again. Okay. So, what's her name? Katie, the Celestial something? I don't remember. Celestial is in the name. I hopefully will put it down below. But she did a, I don't know if it was called a teeny wincy or a really mini loaf cat pattern, and she did a tutorial on it, and I happened to see it at the time and I just decided to follow along, so I made it. This is Bernat blanket. This is the frosting one. I just had a little bit left, So I used it just to do some contrast on the legs, but it came up. Now I have my own formula that I do for the loaf cats. You know, they're all pretty similar, but I just thought since she was doing a tutorial, I'd just follow along. So mini, very, very tiny. And it's, I'd mentioned that I always have trouble putting the eyes and getting it straight. I don't think it would have been straight either way because nothing ever lines up for me. So he looks like he's curious looking at you like that, so gives a character. It's that one. The other thing, while I had the black out, I just decided to make another loaf cat in my own formula, and I used up, I didn't have enough of the frosting color to do this, so I had another, again, scrap of I forget what the colorway is. It's like a grayish beige color of Bernat blanket, so I just used it for that. And because it was just so black, I just embroidered some spots on it, just a couple, and then I used a little for the top of the tail. I usually do the chain and crochet back for the tails, but just because I don't want to sew on any extra pieces, but for this one I just decided to do the usual tail that's sticking up. But yeah, and I gave it some it's like a rust color, not quite gold color, eyes, and it's probably not going to focus. Oh, there we go. The little sparkly backing of the eye, and just a pink X for the nose. So there's that one. So those are two. The other thing, I was watching, I don't know who, just a video that popped up and I was watching. I usually try to queue up a whole bunch of videos, especially when I'm working and I'm listening in. I queue up a bunch of videos and I just let them play off to the side as I'm working. I usually split my screen, so I have a small screen of the YouTube playing and then, you know, while I'm working. So somebody was talking about this Dinosaur. Who is it by? It's off Instagram. It'll be down below. But I've made it, I think, once or twice before. But I'm like, oh, I'm using up scraps. I might as well. I had a small cake. This is the brown from the Amazon blanket yarn. It's basically blanket yarn repackaged, and it's kind of in between the old plump, stiff formula and the new formula. It's, you know, it's like those two had a baby, and that's like in between. It's not quite as plump, not quite as soft. So I made the Dinosaur. Who is it by? I don't remember who it's by. But is it Nooks Hooks? No, that's not her Dinosaur. Anyway, it'll be in the link below. But again, it's just some more gray scrap that I had. So I think this gray is Chenille's Basics, Premier Basic Chenille. So there's that. Hopefully I'm not too far away, because I was so close in the last video that I posted and I had to redo that I'm hesitant to get too close, but hopefully you'll be able to see it. But this simple. And then, so this is blanket scraps, and then I had a bunch of small scraps of blanket, of Parfait Basics tie-dye, and just all other blankety type yarns, and I just tied them together and I made another scrappy Dinosaur. So you have all the tie-dye ones up here, and then it moved into all manner of blanket yarns. So yeah, it's got a blue butt. So hopefully somebody will find this interesting. I think it is, but yeah. That's number 2. And then I had a bunch of Parfait Chunky scraps and I was trying to use it up. So I had a good bit of this blue that was enough to make this tiny one. So this is the, oh, what is that colorway? Not Peacock. Peacock was, I forget who had Peacock colorway, but I forget what the blue, I think they discontinued this color, or do they have it on overstock sale? There are some colors that Parfait Chunky has in package of 3 that they've discontinued, and then they also have a bunch that's labeled as overstock. I don't remember which one that is, but there's, so it's teeny tiny. I I'm pretty sure I used either a 5 or 6 millimeter hook for these. Definitely a 6 for this. Maybe a 5 for that. No, 5.5 for this one. And then I think I used a 3.75 for this one. So you can see the difference. It's like the family. Using up those scraps. It's like the more you use, the more it just seems to multiply. Kind of like Red Heart yarn, but anyway, I think I'd shown this before. This was just a chicken hat. I'm pretty sure I showed it before, but if I didn't, there it is. Where did I get it off of? I forget where I got it off of, but if I showed it, it's already in the document link. But that and more scraps. So let's see. Is it the same? No. I had some. This is the Carpe yarn that was in a bag that I made the elephant. I thought it was Stash Goals. I don't know if it was the Stash Goals. They have a Stash Goals bag, and they also have a, I think, a chenille bag, and maybe that's where it was from because it's thicker, and it's the good stuff. So I made a whale. This is the All From Jade whale. So it's with the, I'll just call it Stash Goals for now. I don't know. It was from the bag from Premier, but it goes well with the chenille Home Slim. No, chenille Home. What's the one that they have? Sweet Snuggles. I had bought this purple colorway, and I had a little bit of it I'm trying to use up. I used it up. No, I used up this blue, ran out halfway through the tail, so I made the second part of the tail fin in the purple, and then the base. So that one. I had some blanket scraps, a little bit of yellow. I finished, ran out, finished it in white, and then the bottom is all in white. So that one, and then my Parfait chunky scraps. So small that I just put it on a keychain. I had that blue colorway, Lagoon maybe is the colorway, I don't remember. And then I wouldn't have had enough to do the fins, so I did it in a yellow. It's a new skein that I'm using, so I did it in yellow, and then the base I just did in, I think this is their mushroom colorway. So you can see the difference between, where did it go? Where did it go? I just dropped it in here and now it's lost in the menagerie. Oh. So again, the family. You have the blanket, the, let's call it Sweet Snuggles, and the Parfait Chunky. So I don't remember the hook sizes I used for these, so that's what it is. And fluff. And this dinosaur I saw again on somebody's video. I don't even remember who. It's another one of the videos I queued up, and it was off of no, it's on the Mary J. Her website is where the pattern is. And this belly part you embroider on instead of color change. And I was just thinking, I wonder if I do it. I'm definitely doing it again in bigger yarn. If I could remember to just change the colorways in this extra or this area instead of having to embroider it on. But I just embroidered it on with some just chenille from the Dollar Tree. And this is, what yarn is this? This is Parfait Chunky. This colorway is way thicker than, some of them are thinner, some of them are thicker, but Parfait Chunky. But yeah, definitely gonna make it. It is all no sew. The only thing you would have to sew is if there's a hole when you're attaching the tail. You just use that, you leave a long tail when you make this. You crochet it in as you go, and then you use the tail to sew up any holes that you would have. I did have a hole, so, and you may have to shift this just to fit as center as possible based on your tension, but too cute. I saw this on somebody's video, and then I saw it on somebody else's video as well, so I have the page now saved, and I'm going to make another one. So that's what I've done since last week. Yeah. The other thing that I did, I had mentioned that we had gone to a barbecue a couple weeks back, or 3 weeks back, and it was also a surprise baby shower too, and I didn't know, so I didn't bring anything, but I wanted to make something because they're colleagues of Father Minion. So I showed the blanket I made for the last baby shower that we just went to, and I was already over making blankets because my least favorite thing to make, but I talked myself into making a blanket because the other one worked up relatively quickly. I decided to just do the same thing again, but they had different colors. I am still in the process of doing this one, but I've gotten this far, and he did say that her colors are pinks and yellows. So again, I used the yellow is looking a little greenish on the camera, but it's not. It's definitely a baby yellow. Man, this camera's shutting off way sooner than it normally does. Anyway, it's more of a what would I call it? Like a pastel ice creamy yellow and pink. And this is the value. Loops and Threads value. I forget what I said it was. It's over there. I'm not gonna get it, but it's the same brand that I did the purples in. But I believe it's the Loops and Threads value yarn. So, or was it Big Twist value? Might have been Big Twist value. It's a value. So I am, oops, I'm pulling out stitches. Pulling out stitches because it's caught. Hold on, it's caught in my chair. So I gotta fix that corner. I am almost done. I think, so this is one skein of the yellow. I have a little left, and I'm going to use it in a hat. Or I still need to use at least one round to do one round of the border in yellow. So I need to save that, and also to use some in hat. And then I have a little less than half the skein of pink left that I'm going to finish that with, and I need enough to make the border. So I have to make sure I remember not to just use the whole thing up, because I want to do the border and also add to a hat. So hopefully this will be finished in the next couple of days. The other thing I did, originally I was not going to make a blanket, and I was just going to do a toy. And I didn't know what to make, so I didn't know if they had a theme or anything, and he just said it's yellow and pink, so whatever. And me, I have decision paralysis sometimes. I overthink things. So I decided to just remake the ballerina mouse from the YouTube channel, which I made, I'd shown before. I don't remember the channel name, but it's in the pattern link. I decided to make it again, and yeah, there it is. Too cute. Of course, in yellows and pinks, like he said. So this is Acorn in Parfait Chunky. Parfait Chunky yellow, I don't know, I think it's just yellow. And then I didn't have a pink. I think I used up whatever pink I had in Parfait Chunky. So this is the Petite Pearl or the Skinny Chenille. I think this one is the Skinny Chenille yarn. It's got like the variegated mottled speckly look to it. You know, it has almost like solid areas and then the speckly areas. So I made it, the last time I made this, obviously it was bigger because I think I used, no, it wasn't Bernat Blanket. I used Parfait Chunky, but I doubled it. So it was almost twice the size of this. But this part, she had a little lower, and I didn't like it so low, so I went up a little higher. And when I went to sew on the head, there wasn't much room here. So I just went back, reattached the yarn, added another row to the top of the body, so I would have room, so she would have a neck, and then I could attach and do the straps. So I still like it higher. Yeah, it's pretty much it. You just tie on. I thought I ran out of yellow because I was using a partial skein, and I thought I ran out, only to realize afterwards that I had another skein. But before I found it, I just used the this skinny chenille to do the ties here. I didn't have a different colorway yellow because the pattern has a lighter yellow and the tutorial, lighter yellow and a darker yellow for the ruffles. I didn't have that, so I just incorporated the pink in there. This is more of a peachy pink to do that. And then I used the last strand of yellow that I had to actually run out of yellow when I was doing this strand. I added a strand of the skinny chenille just to tie it all together. I'm contemplating doing a little bow and sewing it on, but maybe not. But yeah, in this tutorial she doesn't do any face shaping, so or did she do face shaping? I don't remember if she did face shaping on the safety eyes. I want to say no, but she doesn't do any face shaping on the nose area, so I use the Oak and Marlow pattern to do it that way. So is it Oak and Marlow who does this? I always forget if it's Oak and Marlow. Yeah, the Fable. So I just use hers because I have that pattern. I own that pattern. I bought the pattern. I use her face shaping to do a little shaping on the nose. So yep, it's not protruding so much, but you can see it as you look at it. And I didn't bother try to, you know, face shape. Ooh, actually, I might try to do that. The eyes a little. It's hard to do when you embroider the eyes. So because it's for baby, I embroidered eyes. And yeah, it's just a strand, a chain tied around. That's why I want to do a maybe a bow, but maybe not. So that is all I've been doing because this yeah, thumb is feeling a little better, but yeah, after I've done any kind of crocheting I do feel it a little more, so I'm just trying to minimize. On that note, I need to get back to work. I will talk to you guys later. Bye.